Okay. Okay, I have all the buttons pressed, so we're ready to go. Hello. I'm so glad that you're here with me today.
Hello, everyone. And hello, Julie. Long time no see. Oh, my goodness. How did we get so lucky to talk about bodies today? Oh, my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
So, how is your body, Julie?
You know, it's a very interesting thing what bodies can do. And, you know, when you don't have a point of view and put it on the body, how it can morph and change. So I was just sharing last night, when I went to bed, my body was really hurting. And usually my body doesn't hurt. And I had justified that I was standing for like 6 hours, you know, doing this show. And it was like my feet and my calves were just throbbing, and I massaged them, and that sort of helped, but not really. And I was lying in bed just hurting until like 3 a.m. And I started to turn on the energy, restoration of communion with earth, and pulling it up through my feet and through my body. And then it was like, it was like this peace came over me. And I'm like, why did it take me so long to figure that out? But also, you know, having just a few hours of sleep, when I woke up, I feel totally great. So what else is possible?
It's amazing, isn't it? How you are not exhausted, even if you slept just a couple hours. And it's so funny because we talked the other day. I don't know if it was last night or the night before that. But so I had, oh my God, I never have body stuff. It's like ever since I started using the tools of Access Consciousness, I haven't really been sick. But since I came back from England, I was having this like English flu kind of thing. I was having a sore throat. Then I was starting to have these bad coughs. And in the meantime, I came over to Dubai. And after that, I had swollen eyes. They were so bad that, you know, some stuff started to come out of my eyes. I was like, I've never even had that ever in my life. And I tried to justify it like, yeah, maybe I, you know, caught it from someone in England. And then on the plane, maybe the air conditioning was, you know, irritating my eyes. I had all these stories built up in my head, right? And then I was just here. I also had to run a couple errands because I'm setting up a business. And then I was super sick. I was like, they literally took me to a medical exam the day I arrived. And I was like, I'm so gonna fail all of that. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, relax, ask a question. You know how this is, you know how to do this.
Right.
Theoretically, right? So I asked my buddy, hey, buddy, is it gonna be okay? Like, because they did an x-ray of my lungs and I was having pretty bad coughs. So I asked my buddy, hey, buddy, is it gonna be okay if we do the x-ray? And my buddy went, of course it's gonna be okay. What are you talking about? I'm like, well, you know, the coughs and the x-ray and never mind that. So I went to the medical examination and everything was perfectly fine. They didn't find anything. Nothing showed on the x-ray either. I was like, this can't be real, can it? And then I think I took like 2 or 3 days resting. I was in bed for 3 days. I don't remember the last time that happened to me or that I created that.
Right.
And I kept asking questions and I was like, yeah, I'm mutating into something else. And my body is preparing for something. And just today, just before we actually started talking, I was walking around in the house and I was like, my eyes feel so good. Like, I don't think my eyes ever felt this good. Like, my vision is sharp and my eyes have no pain, no feeling whatsoever. And I was like, wow, even my eyes were mutating. I was like, seriously? Even my eyes can mutate? How is that even a thing? You know what I mean?
I love that.
Oh, so wow. And I have been working with bodies for 8 years, actually. And I always had miracles showing up with anyone's body, any kind of symptoms. And even up until today, when things like this happen, I'm like, holy moly, this is real. Magic is freaking real. And I did not take any kind of medicine because I'm in Dubai. I have no idea where to get any. And I'm like, well, I'm either gonna die or just mutate into something greater now. This is insane. And yeah, of course, I was running body processes all the nights, and then I kept asking questions. But essentially, what came up, my body just wanted to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting, like in the middle of the night when I was listening to the Talk to the Entities advanced class, and this is where we met. There was some stuff in there. Like, have you listened to it again and again?
Oh my God, I'm still not there yet.
There's some stuff in there, and like
boy.
energies, and like she kept asking, what capacity do you have that you've not acknowledged or that hasn't actualized yet? And it's like, it's working its magic and mutating, really.
Yeah, and I'm like, because I'm like, what did she exactly say? She said something really like what needs to change or what needs to die in order for like humanoid actualization to show up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, how much are we acknowledging or not acknowledging how much our bodies can actualize anything?
Yeah.
And how much are we not utilizing that skill that our bodies naturally possess?
Yeah,
so I need
exactly.
to really, yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And when you were in England, you did a Talk to the Entities intro, right?
Oh
So
boy,
when
not just that. Actually, it wasn't just a communicating with entities class, but I also did a Right Riches specialty intro called How to Have More Money Magic. So I'm wondering, I'm wondering how much money magic is my body aware of that
yeah,
be exponentialized here.
Yeah, people don't think about including their bodies. I mean, for almost anything, they don't think about including their bodies. It's kind of funny. It's like, let's override this thing and drag it to work. But I'm curious, with the eyes and the stuff coming out of your eyes, could that be something? Remember Shannon was talking about having ectoplasm and stuff coming out of her eyes last year. I wonder if there's any of that. I don't know.
Absolutely. So what, because I remembered Shannon was saying about how for her it was connected to like a vision or a sight that she was sort of aware of, but like not getting to at that point. And it was like an invitation to like, you know, look at it.
Yeah.
And for me, the question that's keep like circulating in my world right now is, and you know how Gary and Dane nowadays talk about how, what if you would stop looking at things from this reality's perspective? So if we were not looking at things, whether it's our bodies or money or creations or whatever, really, from the eye of this reality, what reality can we look through? Or what reality can we create that can be our new sight, essentially?
Right. Like how much do you have to contract to look through this reality? And we're so used to being contracted and looking through this reality. We're like, what is looking from outside of this reality? And that's a great question to be in. You know, I also have noticed that every time I have a class coming up, before the class, I really make this demand to not facilitate the class before the class. But what happens is I get like awarenesses and quote symptoms of what the people who will be in the class might experience. And right now I'm in the process of a reverse aging class. And so there's all these weird things showing up in my body that could be quote aging related that are most likely changing for the participants.
Wow.
So
I mean, truly, how much do we not acknowledge that capacity? Like, have you, I don't know if any of you are listening to us now or in the future, but Like truly, how often do you guys just even meet up with your friends, even if it's a small circle, a bigger group? And how often do you just suddenly start to have like a pain in the shoulder, like a weird feeling in the knees? Or like just how often do you later find out that one of your friends is actually having a symptom related to what you are perceiving?
Mm-hmm.
Truly, how much do we not acknowledge that? Because sure, like when you are facilitating and then you deal with people, you're kind of used to that, but how much do we ignore that in our daily lives, essentially? Like I have a couple employees and I have the same, like I'm even aware of their shit, you know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
know exactly what's going on without knowing it, and it can stir up some frustration in me when I'm not willing to look at it. And we do have the capacity to change stuff. The question is, do we have to? Do we have to try saving them? Or how
Right.
much more ease could we have with our bodies showing us what's going on
Yeah,
for animals, essentially?
exactly. Exactly. Remember I told you when I was on the airplane, I met a photographer when I was flying to Paris?
Right. Yes, 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 yes.
Anyway, I followed up and I was like, hey, how did the shoot go? And he said something like he lost one of his discs, insert things for the camera. And my first response is ask for it to magically show up again. And so I'm like, do I write that? Yes. So I just wrote it, like, whatever. He may reject and say that's not possible. I'd rather be depressed. But he wrote back like a little Merlin,
Oh, little
emoji.
wizard.
And this is something that is coming from beyond this reality. It's like when you lose something, what if you could ask for it to come back magically? What if you don't have to know how, but you could just ask and be willing to have things show up?
Well, that. I was actually having a conversation today with a friend, and we have a common friend who, I mean, he's brilliant in business. He just knows how to do business, right? But here's one thing that he's so vehemently rejecting, and that is magic. He's including it more and more, but at the same time, he just somehow, many people who are good at business, they want to reject magic as if magic was destroying business. And for me, I'm literally built the other way around. I had no clue about business and I was magic embodied, People would ask me like, how do you even do your business? I'm like, I have no idea. I'm just being magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so how much magic could we actually institute in our lives, businesses, relationships, bodies, if we were not looking for the perfect answer? Or we can be depressed, we can freak out. I could have freaked out that I'm in an absolutely not known country. I have no idea where to go. If I'm sick, I don't have medicine. I could have freaked out, but I was like, it's okay. I've got this.
Totally.
Just really truly
The freak out thing is really interesting. For anybody who has ever been in an emergency situation, if you do not freak out, then right there that you've got no fear, that you can handle anything. I mean, the day before yesterday, I came home from a walk. I was like going out and walking by the bay and having a great day and inviting in magic and had all these amazing connections. And I come home and there's water raining down the ceiling from upstairs. And my whole living room is a lake.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And I run upstairs. My bedroom's a lake. My bathroom, like under the sink, the thing just like broke. I don't know. I don't even use that sink. And it was gushing, and I'm like, ah. And I called the landlord, and she's like, this is how you turn it off. And so I turn it off, and it's still dripping. And there's water everywhere, but not on the furniture, not on anything. Just my rugs got covered and submerged. And I just handled it. And it was just like, okay, you can freak out, you can cry, but like, what's the point of that? get some towels, mop it up, and handle it.
And you handled it perfectly.
And I handled it, and I got a really good arm workout from
Have to go to gym. Magic addition. But just, can we acknowledge the part where you said no furniture got damaged in the meantime?
Right.
Like,
no furniture, no paintings, no nothing. It was very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Maybe even your house is mutating into a new reality. Because, houses are entities and they do have a body. So even, I wonder how much your house is actually mutating with you. And I wonder wow, what an invitation you are to the house and the house to you.
Oh. My daughter was wondering if it was time to move.
Ooh. Well, is it time to move?
Perhaps. Perhaps. We've been looking.
Well, what would your new body like to have?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that is so exciting. Oh my goodness.
Where would it like to be? This is the question.
Yeah, where it would like to be, and what would it like to be surrounded with, essentially? Because I know your taste. Like, I even just look at your beautiful background and I'm like, yeah, that's totally you. And at the same time, so what is your body looking for that maybe wasn't on your list before? Even if it's just something like when you step outside, what would you like to see there? What would you like to have there? What kind of energies would you like to surround your body with? There might be something, that your new body is kind of looking for. If you add it to the list, the new place would just like magically appear.
Yeah. And this is what we do. We write qualities of what we'd like the place to be, and very little parameters, like, 2 bedrooms or whatever. But, things like easy to park, because I often host bars trades and things like that. So I need easy parking for my guests, stuff like that. But space for sure, and sunshine and nature. And it shows up. It's so amazing when you do that, when you have the clarity of the energy, the thing just shows up, whatever it is that you're looking for.
Totally. Absolutely. I mean, I love working with places, houses, essentially. Since we are both totally entities facilitators, I'm sure you have also done house clearing classes. For me, that's one of my best selling ones, because I'm just I'm loving doing it, you know what I mean? And I love having fun with houses. And I just moved again this year earlier. And I remember knowing exactly what energies I'm looking for in the living room, in the bedroom. You know what I mean? Like, I had no idea how I want it to look like, what kind of furniture I want. I didn't care. What I did care about was the energy, how I would like to just sit in my living room, have some peace and calm, and like the energy of it. And I can tell you that house showed up in the most ridiculous, miraculous way ever. Then I was like, yeah, sure, I'll check it out, And then I stepped inside and I was like, oh shit, this is it.
Isn't it fun that you can just walk in and know, okay, this is it. Every time.
You do it otherwise?
And all the other places are like, no. Yeah. But then this is it.
Yeah, and I even try to convince myself, like, yeah, this place is not so bad, like the other places I was checking. I was like,
right.
Could be better, but it's not bad. The furniture is nice, the kitchen is nice, but deep down it's just not the one, right? And then, when I was stepping into the one, I was like, that.
So that's another beyond this reality voice, because when I write my list of qualities, people are like, you're asking for too much, Julie. And it's like, I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
Too much,
And I
too
know that it's
little,
out
maybe.
there, or like I can create it somehow.
Yeah, and it's you never ask for too much. If anything, humanoids tend to ask for too little. Let me
That's
tell you.
true. It's true.
And yeah, when you are willing to ask for too much, you are willing to have more than you ever imagined you can have. That's the key.
Mm-hmm.
Are we willing to dream big enough? Would be my question.
Yeah. When I started my business many years ago, like 30 something years ago, and I was doing jewelry, and then I created these little stones called magic stones. And magic stones had, I think I started with 20 or 25 different words and symbols that I had created: love, peace, healing, magic, balance, harmony, things like that. And I etched these colorful stained glass rocks with the words and the symbols. And people kept telling me, you have too many different designs. They're too expensive. They told me all these things. And I just kept going forward. And at my first wholesale show, I got so many orders for these things, and people were bringing buyers from other states and like, oh, you have to get this. It was crazy. And I remember being on the airplane going to that show and just sort of imagining all kinds of people coming to my booth. And it was like beyond what I could imagine. And these magic stones, they're still around. And I've created hundreds and hundreds of designs, and I did custom ones and all these things. But they got on Oprah. They have been sold all over the world. It got huge just from magic, from asking, oh, wow, what would it take for this to be on Oprah?
Oh.
Like crazy.
You are crazy, but in a good way. You know what I mean? I admire people who dream big enough, because whatever you can dream of, it can be real. It is already real, in my point of view, at least. So, yeah, wow. I love that. When I started my Talk to the Entities business, because I was working with people before, but I was doing it small, kind of invisible, controllable. But then I was like, nope, I am doing this now, and I'm gonna be a Talk to the Entities facilitator, and my business is a full-time Talk to the Entities business. So here we go. And then I was so much more expensive than anyone in my country. I still am, in a way, when it comes to private classes, for sure. And then people kept going like, oh no, like you cannot possibly ask that much. And then I was like, well, I can. Who says I cannot? And then people just kept coming. I had so many people coming to my classes, taking my intros. And I was like, sure, I can. Looks like I can, And every single time before there's a price increase, people would start complaining about the prices, or they would stop coming, and I would already know I'm selling it too cheap. And as soon as I increase, people just keep coming. You know what I mean? Because we also had this conversation in Paris, I think, about prices.
Yes.
And it doesn't make any sense to do something that is not going to work. And this is one question that I'm recently again asking myself, will this work? If I do this, if I do this price, if I do this class, is it gonna work? What's gonna work? So, and of course, it's a question you can also apply to your body, to the relationships, business, anything. It's such an easy question. And I love how access questions are just so easy that it's ridiculous at some point. It's just, how this cannot be this easy. You know what I mean? But really, it's sometimes that easy. Is it gonna work?
So many people want to make it work.
Yeah.
Turn it into work, meaning, instead of having it work for you, like just flipping it around. What would it take for this to work for me? Take for the universe or for this reality to work for you.
Wow. That was beautifully said. Yeah. I love that. Aww.
Yeah.
Anything else we would like to share with everyone?
Well, we want to play with some stuff and create some things. So I'm curious what people would be interested in.
Well, maybe they can also write in the comments what they would be interested in, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And where in the world
Ooh, yeah. I
would it
love
like to be?
traveling, seriously. I'm always on the road. Like, I've been to Paris, then I went to England. In England, I was in 3 different cities. And then I went back to Budapest because I live there right now. And then now I'm in Dubai. And from Dubai, I'm going to fly to Saudi Arabia. So I'm like, where is next? Give me my next location, people.
That's
And I'm
awesome.
going to bring Julie. So I'm just saying.
Yes. Let's play. Yeah. It's super exciting.
It is. Always.
Yeah. And there's definitely some magic boosting happening when certain energies get added together.
Yeah. But we are magic together. We know that. I mean,
We
I
know
just
it.
walked over to Julie's jewelries, what she was selling at the Talk to the Entities CF training. And then I was like, I literally looked at this ring I'm wearing right now. And I was like, oh, that's mine. and then I started talking to her and I saw all the different kind of jewelry. And I was like, oh, let me just take a couple pictures. So I took pictures. I sent it to like 5 different friends of mine. By the end of the day, I made her sell some of her stuff. And then she was like, where did you come from? What are you doing? I'm like, but this is what I do. I'm sorry. Or you're welcome. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you.
So
and I give royalties.
Yeah, she does. But this is what she means when, you know, some people get together and stuff just gets created immediately because magic cannot wait to be actualized. Yeah. And for me, meeting Julie, I'm like, this is magic. As if we were just like waiting for this moment, you know what I mean? And yeah, it was somehow my first time ever seeing you, which is ridiculous, but it's too funny.
Wow. Well, we're both showing up more. And yeah, like when the magic and the sparks get created, it's not just for one person and it's not just for both people. It's like when Gary showed me the energy of contribution, he said it's not one way and it's not 2 different ways. It like contributes to the universe too. So
exactly.
When your life expands and my life expands, everybody's lives expand. And that's the magic that I'm most interested in.
It's so true. Oh my God. I had so many conversations with like friends or people who I just met and we became friends. They are like, so how do you create? Like, I just ask for something and it just shows up, you know, like, I'm like, I'll have that. And it's literally right there, you know, and it kind of freaks people out sometimes. And then they're like, so like, how are you doing that? I'm like, well, I just know that if it's gonna create something greater for the whole world, the universe, like every single molecule, I'm gonna have that. If it's not gonna be a contribution to literally everything, I might not have it. So what? You know, then I'll just ask for something else. So for me, that's how what you just said like implements into my life. I know that whatever I ask for, if it's a contribution to everything, I'm gonna have it. That's for sure. And because it's gonna be a contribution to me, to that stuff or the whole universe. And that's how I would like to create the world I live in. I would like people to make choices that doesn't only affect themselves, but like everyone and the whole world. So like truly what would it take for more people to actually get that whatever they do, whatever they ask for has a huge influence in a contributive ways to everyone. And that is beautiful. People.
It's so true. And I find that a lot of people will contribute to other people, but won't include themselves. So it's like, just include everything.
Including you.
Just because it makes you happy and you think it's just for you, if you lowered your barriers and expanded and actually asked, like, hey, if I choose this and it makes me super happy, what does that create in the world?
I
And then
love
see
that.
how you being happy actually contributes.
Wow. Well, thank you for that. That was beautiful.
Thank you. We've come to the end of our half hour so quickly. Oh my gosh.
Well, if people would like to hear more from us, well, we can make something happen, I think.
Absolutely. Let's be in touch. And thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you another time. I think next week I'm going to be traveling during this time. So
Where are you?
I'm going to Houston for the advanced body class.
Oh my goodness. Oh, happy bodies. Oh my God.
Yes.
That's
another thing. Oh gosh, like this, like, oh, right. That's another part of some of what we're going through. There's so many things that are going on. Like there's the 9 trannies class, and then there's that one coming up. And we think that we're this separate person, but we're all connected. And when things change in access, things change in us as well.
How did we get so lucky? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Thank you,
All
everyone.
Right. Stay in touch.
We'll see you soon, hopefully. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Mwah.